Hey everybody, and as the title of the video suggests, I'm here today to produce a team for Gold, Silver, and Crystal that I bet that just nobody has ever used before. You guys actually really enjoyed the Kanto team I put together, and for that support, I thank you all. I decided to go and try to top myself this time with the Johto team, doing random weird stuff and whatnot. I think it'd be a lot of fun to top myself with each set of games we try to build a team for. But who knows if that'll even be possible after today. I mean, this team, there's just absolutely no chance anybody has ever used it. As always, I'll wait until the end to a final has anyone used this rating. So for now, let's just dig in and really break this team down into a fine powder. Though, just before we do that, I've gotta ask, I bet you never thought you'd ever have to deal with hair loss, right? Though, if you're someone who has, then I've got something for you. This video is sponsored by Keeps, an online subscription service that is a doctor-recommended way to treat your hair loss. You may not know this, but 2 out of 3 guys will experience hair loss before the age of 35. And as you guys have learned by now, my poor editors are 2 of those 3 guys. I might be lucky enough to have all my hair, but Keeps is still a product I believe in and definitely support. Keeps offers clinically proven, research-backed treatments that can help stop hair loss and ultimately improve hair growth. They have got a great thickening shampoo and conditioner that helps strengthen hair and promote some healthy growth. Also, when you subscribe to their services, they'll take care of you big time. They even remind you when you need to refill your treatment and make sure that you're always just an order away from a direct connection to a network of expert medical advisors and care specialists, as well as those that can help prescribe you exactly what you need. You'll even get a full year of unlimited messaging with your prescribing doctor about anything at any time with your prescription too. Think about it. 24/7 care and support and a routine that works for you. It doesn't get better. Let's run that down one last time. You can subscribe to Keeps' amazing service to help combat your hair loss. It's clinically proven to actually make a difference, and you've got access to some of the best customer service out there whenever necessary. Hair loss stops with Keeps. To get 50% off your first order, head on over to keeps.com/mystic or click on the link in the description. That's keeps.com/mystic. This team will be started with our token starter replacement, this time being Noctowl. As we all know, it's not the best for an in-game playthrough. Now, of all the Pokemon on the team, I sort of think Noctowl as being the most likely to be used. Though even then, I'd highly recommend going with a Spearow or a Pidgey or something instead. Hoothoot just messes around on the first few routes of the game during the nighttime, so getting one is really easy. It's not as glamorous as any of the starter Pokemon on the team, but at least it's not like the last video where you don't have an official team member for the first gym. If nothing else, you'll be able to use your own flying type against Falconer and prove that you're the master of the skies. Alright, maybe that's taking it a bit far, and I'm just trying to make the best out of a bad situation, but whatever. Hoothoot evolves in the Noctowl at level 20, which is pretty quick. So at the very least, you'll see a slight power up near the start of the game, and by the time you're taking on Bugsy. The moveset for Noctowl that I have put together is Fly, Hypnosis, Nightmare, and Confusion. I figured Fly was good for moving around the region, and of course providing some sort of stab move for this owl. Then, Hypnosis and Nightmare work together to provide some decent pain, with Hypnosis learned at level 16, and Nightmare being a TM obtained on Route 31 from some guy if you deliver a Spearow to him. It's basically one of the first few weird little side quests Pokemon ever had in a game, so that is kinda cool. Finally, we have Confusion, and that's not even learned until level 41. That's pretty awful, and it's downright sad. That's definitely part of what went into picking Noctowl for this team though. People often avoid it because it's got an awful move pool, and just doesn't get much out of its better special attack stat. That said though, for as bad as it can be, it's got both a nice spotlight on it here and on the worst teams for Johto. You know, thinking about it, perhaps Noctowl is used more often than I sort of brought light to. So how about we go with something so bad, nobody ever uses it unless they're trying to meme.
Let's go with
Dunsparce here, as it's the consummate joke Pokemon that nobody ever uses, especially in this debut appearance. It's available to join your team by way of the Dark Cave in the entrance near Violet City. It's so boring and so dull, it being featured on the team at all provides the whole concept with some validity. So let's look at the moveset of our Land Snake Pokemon. We've got Thunder, Headbutt, Iron Tail, and Rollout on this Dunsparce. I love the idea that Thunder is the out-of-place move on this set, honestly. It's a TM you'll have to get in the Goldenrod Game Corner, and it's just kind of funny to think about Dunsparce of all things opening up the sky and calling upon Thunder to destroy its opponent. At least with Headbutt, which is a TM obtained in Elex Forest, you get Stab, and it makes sense that this weird snake would just headbutt stuff. I can even believe that it can make its tail as hard as iron using Iron Tail, which you'll get the TM for when you beat Jasmine. Finally, Rollout is a TM you'll find on Route 35. And again, it's just another move I can actually see Dunsparce using. Imagine watching it roll around like a useless weirdo. All in all, this moveset isn't great, and Dunsparce's poor stats aren't helping things much. But that, of course, is the name of the game with the team. So with that being said, let's move on. Next up, I decided on Sandslash for the team, because, you know, Sandslash doesn't get enough love. It's a nice little Pokemon that deserves to get some more spotlight shined on it. You can get Sandshrew either in the Union Cave if you're playing Gold and Crystal, or the Goldenrod Game Corner in Silver. There's a good chance many Silver players overlook using Sandshrew, and most people in general, of course. I mean, you can get a Golem or a Steelix later in the game, so really, who's choosing to use this little shrew as their ground type? Well, I'll tell you who. People that are massive Sandslash fans. It's the obvious next step when trying to build a team nobody has ever used, of course. I mean, look at Sandslash's stats for a second. 100 attack, which is really nice. Though it doesn't have access to any sort of stab by level up. It must wait for Dig or Earthquake by TM. So it's borderline useless for a bit. And even then, while Dig is a good ground type move, the better ground types are capable of getting stab moves a lot sooner that are a bit stronger. That's all just my little nitpicks about this thing though. Let's actually look at its moves. Dig, Strength, Dynamic Punch, and Fury Cutter are the moves on Sandslash. So not only would I like to say that not many people use Sandslash on their teams in Johto, but I doubt they ever even think about using this moveset. I went with Dig over Earthquake because you'll get the TM for it a lot sooner. But put Earthquake on this set when you find that TM. As for Strength, you want to run that just so you can get around some puzzles and such in the region. It's a bit of a nothing move. Dynamic Punch barely will ever connect, but if it does, it'll do some big damage. You get that from beating Chuck. Finally, there is Fury Cutter, your reward for winning your second gym badge. This is a screw it sort of moveset that's just here to give Sandslash something to do randomly in a battle. You never know when Dynamic Punch might actually hit, and Fury Cutter can hit for super effective damage. If only there were better moves in Sandslash's pool, but oh well, what are you gonna do? So we've produced a few bad Pokemon so far on the team, which is really Bush League when it comes to building a team that's never been used. I mean, at this rate, I'll end up just putting together a team of bad Pokemon, as if nobody has ever tried to beat a game doing that. Just look around my channel, we've got several worse teams here. So I decided to add a pretty good Pokemon on the team with Slowking, a trait evolution that isn't often seen on teams. You might see a Slowbro or a Feraligatr or the shiny Gyarados, but hardly ever anyone uses Slowking simply due to it being a trait evolution back then. However, when you make the move and get Slowking on your team, you've got a great addition that provides you with two of the best typings you can have, Water and Psychic. In order to get that Slowking, you must get a Slowpoke, which is, as you could guess, in the Slowpoke well outside of Azalea Town. Now you'll have to get that King's Rock, which is totally part of why Slowking is even less used. You can either wait for Surf and Strength to be gotten and go ahead and find a King's Rock in the well, or catch a bunch of Slowpoke until you find it as a held item. It's time consuming, which can really turn the majority of players off, But if you're one of the very few lucky ones who immediately find a Slowpoke holding a King's Rock, you've got an instant Slowking. Surf, Psychic, Blizzard, and Shadow Ball are the moves that this Slowking is bringing into battle for this team. Surf and Psychic were easy choices, the best two stab moves it has access to. Surf is given to you in Ecruteak at the dance theater after a romp with the kimono dancers, and Psychic is learned much later at level 48. But at least Confusion can hold you over. Blizzard is gotten in the Goldenrod game corner to bring that nice Ice-type coverage. And finally, Shadow Ball is your reward for beating Morty. So as far as good Pokemon go, I think Slowking is definitely what you'll find on most teams. As a matter of fact, I personally know more people who have gone with Slowbro many times over Slowking. It's just not a popular choice, but perhaps it should be. So I decided on another Pokemon that is used less often here, but is still somewhat good. I mean, every king needs a queen, and unfortunately, we don't have slow queens walking around. So we've gotta go with Nidoqueen. We all know Nidoking is the most popular of that duo. It's definitely also one of my favorites. However, Nidoqueen can hold its own a bit too, and I have a nice set for it that makes it really worth using. You'll find Nidorann's female form waltzing about Route 35, and in Crystal in the National Park. You'll need a Moonstone in order to evolve it. And guess what? This item is even more aggravating to try and get your hands on than the King's Rock. You need to rely on your mother to buy it for you in gold and silver. And in Crystal, you've got to find it in a hidden room at the Ruins of Alph. Or you could simply get the Surf HM and travel over to Kanto into Tojo Falls. If you cross the water, there's actually a Moonstone in the top left corner of the cave. So, it's actually easier. Regardless, you still have to get the Surf HM in order for you to evolve your Nidoran female into a Nidoqueen. But it's not that bad. This moveset is going to be a quick one. We're talking the Elemental Punches and Body Slam for Nidoqueen. Body Slam is learned at level 23, and the Elemental Punches can all be bought in the Goldenrod department store. Talk about an easy move pool to acquire. I can see Nidoqueen definitely be leaned on early and often. It's actually sneaky good and worth using, but you just don't see it enough. Chalk up another perfect Pokemon for the Johto team in this series. Now, we will wrap up this team with one last, just awful, horrible Pokemon. Naturally, it couldn't all be good options for the second half. That would make it too likely that someone truly possibly used this team. No. Instead, we must return to some straight garbage. And in this case, we're going with Sunflora. It's yet another very annoying Pokemon to get. And on top of that annoyance, there's practically no point in using it because it sucks. It's got a decent 105 special attack stat, but horrible base 30 speed and some average to below average stats in the rest. You can capture Sunkern in the National Park during the day. But to evolve in the Sunflora, you need a Sunstone, and you can only get that by winning the bug catching contest. It's such a hoop to have to jump through to add a bad Pokemon to your team. You can understand why this is so rarely used on certain teams. But we needed some kind of grass-type representation, so here it is. Anywho, time for the final moveset of the day. Sunflora is rocking out with Petal Dance, Sludge Bomb, Solar Beam, and Sunny Day. Petal Dance is learned at level 31, and is a relatively solid stab move. While Sludge Bomb is a TM you've got to earn on Route 43 by clearing the Team Rocket members away. Solar Beam is learned at level 46, and Sunny Day at level 19, obviously working together to make Solar Beam viable. As you can see, this is not the most impressive moveset ever. We doubled up on Grass-type moves and added in a Poison-type move because there was just no other choice. There's a disturbing lack of coverage in Sunflora's move pool, but I suppose when you remember it's just a bad Pokemon, that doesn't seem too surprising. It kind of feels like a nice anchor for this team, as in some circumstances, Meganium can be as bad as Sunflora. I don't personally feel that way. Obviously, I love Chikorita, but Sunflora almost steps in as the closest thing to one of the Johto starters that this team can have. So that's it. We've built another team that I can confidently say nobody has ever used before in a playthrough of Gold, Silver, or Crystal. Noctowl, Dunsparce, Sandslash, Slowking, Nidoqueen, and Sunflora. I give this team a 10 out of 10 on the never used scale. I can't imagine the miserable hoops you have to go through to get just half of this team, combined with the 3 bad Pokemon that opened up the team. There's no way that anyone willingly went and used this team prior to this video. But as always, I challenge you guys to go out and use the team, and let me know how it went for you. I had some comments on the Kanto team that said they had used that squad before. Well, I can be damn sure nobody has used this one. But with that said, I'll see you guys next time in the Hoenn region with another wacky and bizarre team. Welcome back to the outro, folks, your favorite part of the video. Thank you for enjoying another Mystic Umbreon video. We made it through the end of the 8th generation, and now we begin the long trek into late 2022 where Pokemon Scarlet and Violet await us. It's a whole new world we'll live in, but we still gotta catch them all. However, there's still a ton of videos to do and experiences to have until then. If you're interested in more Mystic content, check out my TikTok and the Mystic Umbreon Shorts YouTube channel. If we get the 10k followers on TikTok, I'll be doing a viewer's choice video. If you like Genshin Impact, check out my Genshin channel Teibachinary. So if you all enjoyed, be sure to leave a like and subscribe for more. See you next time.